Imagine waking up one morning and discovering that one of the greatest military victories in history was helped by an army that never existed. No soldiers, no real tanks, no real aircraft, just rubber, wood, lies, and an elaborate illusion powerful enough to fool Adolf Hitler himself. This is the incredible story of how deception became one of the deadliest weapons of World War II, and how a fake army helped change the course of history. By 1943, World War II had become a global catastrophe. Europe was under Nazi control. Millions had already died. Cities lay in ruins. Although Germany had suffered major setbacks on the Eastern Front against the Soviet Union, Hitler still controlled most of continental Europe. The Allies knew that if they wanted to defeat Nazi Germany, they would eventually have to invade Western Europe. But that was easier said than done. The English Channel was one of the most heavily defended stretches of coastline in the world. Hitler had ordered the construction of the Atlantic Wall, a massive network of bunkers, artillery batteries, machine gun nests, mines and obstacles stretching from Norway to the border of Spain. More than 5 million mines were buried along the coast. Thousands of concrete fortifications stood ready. German commanders believed that any invasion could be crushed before it gained a foothold. The Allies faced a terrifying problem. Even if they launched the invasion successfully, the Germans could quickly send reinforcements and throw the attackers back into the sea. They needed a way to keep German forces away from the real landing site. The solution would become one of the greatest deception operations ever conceived. The operation was called Fortitude. Its objective was simple but incredibly ambitious: convince Adolf Hitler that the main Allied invasion would occur somewhere other than Normandy. To understand why this mattered, we need to look at a map. The shortest distance between Britain and France is the Pas-de-Calais region. It seemed like the obvious place for an invasion. German military planners believed the same thing. The Allies decided to exploit that belief. If Germany could be convinced that Pas-de-Calais was the real target, they might leave Normandy vulnerable. But how do you convince one of the most powerful military machines in history? The answer was simple. Create an army, a giant army, and then make sure the Germans could see it. In southeastern England, the Allies began constructing what appeared to be a massive invasion force. From the air, German reconnaissance aircraft saw enormous military camps, rows of tanks, hundreds of vehicles, aircraft lined up at airfields, supply depots, fuel dumps, temporary roads. The photographs looked convincing, because that was exactly what they were designed to do. But there was one problem. Most of it was fake. The tanks were inflatable. Many trucks were made from canvas and wood. Aircraft were carefully crafted decoys. Some vehicles could be carried by just a few soldiers. At a distance, or from several thousand feet in the air, they looked completely real. The Allies even built fake landing craft along the coast. The illusion was so convincing that German intelligence estimated tens of thousands of troops were preparing for an invasion that would never happen. But fake equipment alone wasn't enough. The Allies understood that intelligence gathering involved more than photographs. The Germans monitored radio traffic. So the Allies created fake radio networks. Operators spent hours transmitting messages between imaginary units. Entire conversations were staged. Supply requests were fabricated. Training exercises were discussed. Troop movements were invented. To German listeners, it sounded exactly like a massive army preparing for war. Every signal reinforced the illusion. Every message strengthened the deception. Then came the masterstroke. The commander of this fictional force would be General George S. Patton. Patton was already famous, aggressive, brilliant, unpredictable. The Germans respected him more than almost any other Allied commander. Hitler himself believed Patton would lead the main invasion. So when German spies reported that Patton was commanding a huge force in southeastern England, it seemed logical. The Nazis accepted it as fact. The fictional formation was called the 1st United States Army Group, or FUSAG. On paper, it appeared to contain hundreds of thousands of troops. In reality, it barely existed. Meet Juan Pujol García, perhaps the most successful double agent in history. A man who forged a lie so massive, it changed the course of WWII. To the British, he was Garbo. To the Nazis, he was Alaric. In reality, he was just a Spanish civilian with no formal training in espionage. Driven by a hatred for fascism, he first approached British intelligence. They rejected him. But Garcia was not a man who took no for an answer. He decided to go to the Germans first, convincing them he was a pro-Nazi official. They fell for his act completely, and his journey began. Operating from Lisbon, he sent detailed reports based on travel brochures and maps, pretending he was actually deep inside the heart of London. He didn't work alone, at least not in his reports. He invented a network of 27 imaginary sub-agents, all supposedly reporting directly to him. The German High Command was thrilled. They believed his intelligence was so vital that they funded his entire fictional operation with massive sums of money. While the Nazis were paying for a ghost network, the British finally realized his genius and brought him to London to work for MI5. Now a true double agent, Garbo began his masterpiece, Operation Fortitude. This was a massive deception designed to protect the Allied invasion of Normandy. As D-Day approached, Garbo's messages reached a fever pitch. He told the Germans that the real invasion would happen at Pas-de-Calais, not Normandy. His reports were so convincing that Hitler held back entire panzer divisions, waiting for an attack that would never come to the northern coast. While German tanks sat idle, the Allies landed in Normandy. The deception had worked perfectly, saving thousands of lives during the liberation of Europe. In an incredible twist of history, Garcia became the only person to receive both the British MBE and the German Iron Cross during the war. After the war, Garbo vanished into the shadows, leaving behind a legacy as the spy who never was, but who changed the world forever. Then came June 6, 1944, D-Day, the largest amphibious invasion in human history. More than 156,000 Allied soldiers crossed the English Channel. Nearly 7,000 ships participated. Over 11,000 aircraft supported the operation. American troops landed at Utah and Omaha beaches. British forces landed at Golden Sword beaches. Canadian forces landed at Juno Beach. The fighting was brutal. At Omaha Beach alone, thousands of American soldiers became casualties. Machine gun fire tore through landing craft. Many men drowned before reaching shore. The outcome remained uncertain. Everything depended on whether Germany could rush reinforcements to Normandy. And this is where the deception paid off. Hitler remained convinced that Normandy was not the main invasion. Several powerful German divisions stayed near Pas-de-Calais. Instead of rushing to Normandy immediately, they waited, and waited, and waited. The Allies gained precious time. Every hour allowed more troops to land, more tanks to arrive, more supplies to be unloaded. more defenses to be established. By the time Germany fully understood what had happened, the Allies had secured a foothold that could not be destroyed. One German commander later admitted that the deception operation had significantly delayed German reactions during the critical early stages of the invasion. The scale of the deception was astonishing. Thousands of people participated. Artists, engineers, radio operators, intelligence officers, soldiers, pilots, government officials. Everyone played a role. Some historians consider Operation Fortitude the most successful military deception operation in history. Winston Churchill once said that in wartime, truth is so precious that she should always be attended by a bodyguard of lies. Operation Fortitude became that bodyguard. Today, when people think about World War II, they remember the tanks, the bombers, the beaches, and the battles. But behind those famous victories was an invisible war. A war of misinformation, a war of illusion. A war fought not with bullets, but with belief. And perhaps the most incredible part is this: the fake army never fought a battle. It never fired a shot. It never crossed the English Channel. Yet it helped pave the way for the liberation of Europe. Millions of lives were influenced by inflatable tanks, wooden aircraft, fake radio signals, and a network of carefully crafted lies. In the end, one of Hitler's greatest defeats came not from the army he could see, but from the army that never existed at all.